Welcome to Mustache Piece Theater. What's that, Sparky? Want some peanuts? Here we go, boy.
Let's play.
Let's play indeed. Okay, that's good, Seymour. We at the Gary Kinnischuk Television Network.
The songs are playing on the radio. Let's play while the color lights up your face. Let's sway through the crowd to an empty space. You say run, I run with you. Into my eyes, under the moonlight, mysterious moonlight. You stay around, I'll run with you. You say I will hide.
Matt, what do you remember about specifically doing the rehearsal sessions with Videoka?
Okay, so first of all, I remember the first sort of dance lessons we had with them was very intimidating because here you are, you're being paired up when we were learning, starting to learn dances and so on, being paired up, and here you are dancing with a professional dancer.
Right.
Like we're amateurs.
They're serious business.
You know.
Yeah.
So it was a bit intimidating at first, but they made us feel very comfortable. And I think it made our sessions go a lot more smoother and easier. And they made us realize sort of our vulnerabilities on the dance floor.
They were diplomatic. They were gentle.
They stressed the breathing, how to breathe properly when you're dancing instead of like you know, how to control your breathing even though you're totally out of breath. They taught us to be lighter on our feet for jumps and stuff like that, for landing, showed us how to land properly so that there wasn't that sort of boom when you hit the floor. So they gave us a lot of technique and tips on how to look a lot more professional on stage, which I know we took back with us, and that really did change our approach and style to Ukrainian dancing. So it was really, that was one of the big benefits of working with a group of that caliber. One of the things I do, well, it's funny because, first of all, my uncle, when he was living with us in Winnipeg, he was a garlic eater. And if you stepped into his bedroom at home, it just reeked with garlic, right? So that always brought me back to, oh my God, we were first day of dance lessons with Videoka, and we're gathered together and getting ready for our bar exercises and that, and we're walking around. Who was eating garlic last night?
It's coming out of pores. It's just
figure out where's this garlic smell coming from? And sure enough, when Petra approaches us, one of our instructors, and Oleg, I think his name is Oleg, the one the girls all swooned over. Was Oleg.
The dark-haired guy.
The dark-haired guy who looked like Superman.
Yeah.
And as they got closer to us, oh my God, it's coming from them. So, yeah, they ate garlic. They also drank too. And ate garlic to camouflage their cognac or whatever they drank, or vodka or cognac, whatever. And the other thing I remember too is, so it was very hot in that building. There was no air conditioning. And we were sweating bullets and constantly drinking water. Yeah. And they noticed this and took us into their little sort of recreational area. And there was a huge samovar there. And they poured us all cups of hot tea. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking,
hot tea?
Who drinks hot tea on a hot day like this? Yeah. But they said, no, you need to drink it. So we drank the tea, and the hot tea, and sure enough, we actually stopped sweating and craving, and that thirst sensation went away. Yeah. So hot tea was the trick to battling the non-air conditioned studio.
До вашої уваги прикарпатський танець «Голубка» в постановці Чубарчука. Будь ласка.
that Videoka shared with us, they also shared their costumes in the sense that four of us were designated to come back stage and get dressed up in these costumes so that we could take photographs of them. And in that way, the photographs would serve as templates to be able to fashion costumes for ourselves when we did Holubka and Boyka back in Canada and other places that we toured. So it was generous of them to give us that kind of information because, again, at that time it was unthinkable to have that infusion of direct information. So we appreciate that. So I was hauled out of a rehearsal, just Linda come, and I go, what happened? And Bill Rypack and I posed for the Boyka costumes. Yeah. And unfortunately, I don't know who posed for the Holubka costumes, but we've got pictures of them.
So remember that,
So thank you, Videoka.
One of my big memories, again, this is the workshop we had with Videoka. So we had, I think we did our numbers. I think we did a hopa or something like that.
They did their stuff first.
They did their
and then they
stuff,
pointed to us and said, "Dance."
Your Archer. Yeah, so we did that. Then after that, we had the repetition with them. We had a workshop with them. And what I can remember was doing, it must have been half an hour's worth of video Ovichka. Over and over again, us doing video Ovichka. We'd stop, take a break, more video Ovichka. Oya was the one who was leading us all the time. Yeah, moving forward, moving backwards with video Ovichka. That's a memory that I have of Videoka workshops.
Right on.
That day, the first day with Videoka was very impressive. I think it blew all of us away. Like greeting at the door and coming in, and there was like that excitement building, and they put on that show for us. And for me, it was the choir and the orchestra and that guy with that
Buhai is called Buhai.
The goat's tail thing, you know, and that crazy pen. That guy was small. He was like, he just had flutes everywhere on his body, and it was insane. And then they introduced us at that same time to their discipline. Remember, they did a warm up for us. Mm-hmm. They came out on the bar and they were doing their warm up, and it was like, oh, okay, like we get to compare what they do to what we do, and it was a real eye opener. And then they did the dances. This is the first time I think we saw the two dances that they taught us. Holubka, you know, we were just blown away. This is so new. That you know, you wrap all of that up into this bunch of kids basically from Canada to see all of this and being presented in that way was crazy. And then, you know, you're right. They asked us to do, you know, now you show us.
Yeah.
So I remember one moment we were dancing and the guys were giving her, and there was it was Olya and Petro.
Yeah.
They were standing in front, and she looks at Petro. Like, why can't you guys do that?
Because we would do 64 press.
64 in a row, and they would never, like, they take care of their knees, right? Like, we're just like, and she's like, you know, come on. So now fast forward to 2018, Ottawa. I'm there in Ottawa with Merv, and we're singing with Mellis in a summer festival. And Merv looks and he says, Randy, this guy, he looks familiar. I think that's Petro from Videoka. And I'm like, I think you're right. So we go up and we talk, and it was him.
Wow.
Like we connected 2018. You know,
So he was in Canada now?
He was in Canada, in Ottawa, working with the local dance group.
Yeah.
And, you know, we took pictures. I got those pictures at home, and we reconnected. He remembered.
He remembered.
He remembered the group, you know. I don't know if he remembered us per se, but he remembered everything about it, which was, well, it's phenomenal. So.
Хочеш зі мною потанцювати?
Ой, гарна я, гарна, як тая горлиця. Ой, гарна я, гарна, як тая горлиця. Наймиться уступить, гей, гай, наймиться уступить, гей, гай, наймиться уступить, будь як парадниця. Наймиться уступить, гей, гай, наймиться уступить, гей, гай, наймиться уступить, будь як парадниця. Смутя парадниця, з поля робітниця. Смутя парадниця, з поля робітниця. Моя така гарна, гей, гай, моя така гарна, гей, гай, моя така гарна, як невідвірниця. Моя така гарна, гей, гай, моя така гарна, гей, гай, моя така гарна, як невідвірниця. Гарна була, гарна, не була мила гей. Гарна була, гарна, не було мила гей. Так за мною хлопці йшли, гей, гай, так за мною хлопці йшли, гей, гай, так за мною йшли хлопці, як дощові хмари. Так за мною хлопці йшли, гей, гай, так за мною хлопці йшли, гей, гай, так за мною йшли хлопці, як дощові хмари. Так за мною хлопці йшли, гей, гай, так за мною хлопці йшли, гей, гай, так за мною йшли хлопці, як дощові хмари.
Хочете зі мною потанцювати?
troyes de musica. They're playing instruments. If you call them instruments, I'd never seen before. It was unbelievable. And then the dancers danced. And so we thought, well, okay, that's probably the end of it. Now they're going to teach us something. But no, now they wanted us to dance. So girls went into their change rooms. We went into our change rooms. And we're not feeling too good at this point. We're all tired. We're exhausted. We've just spent 2 weeks dancing, performing, having a little bit of fun in Scotland. We just traveled a very long day. We went from Glasgow to London, London to Sheremetyevo in Moscow. And as Christine told you, not much went right. And so we're tired. So we're in the change room. And, if we were Kozaka, our hetman was Myron. And Meron gave us a pep talk about we do what we do, they do what they do. Let's go out there and do our best. So, of course, we do Hopak because, well, we've got lots of energy. And, we gave it our all. And what I do remember, though, specifically was at the end, the guys are down in front doing rocks and then over to one hand clapping and then the other. And they don't really do that in a professional dance group where people have a career on the line. But I do remember the young lady in front of me, the young dancer, elbowing the gentleman beside and pointing at us. And that really resonated with me at the time, partially because she was gorgeous, and maybe holy. But as I reflect on that, that was kind of, I think, a turning point in Rusalka's choreography. That might sound a little bizarre, but here's where I'm going to go with this. We learned all kinds of things that week. Simple things that we really didn't do very well. I'm sure Joni will tell you about the warm-ups we did with our fingers, most of which was a waste of time because they didn't want your hands on your hip like this. That was weak. It was like this. We used to do their bushichka, bouncing up and down, bouncing around the stage. That was out. Bihonets, they'd make us practice bihonets like crazy. And all these things that almost instantly made us better dancers. And, they taught us 2 wonderful dances, Boyka and Haluka. And we learned another dance from an amateur troupe in Lviv that we brought back. But I think back to that elbow, and I think about where Rusalka's choreography has gone since then. And my own personal view is that the choreography has become more common with what you would see in Ukraine. Now, that might sound like, well, what else would it be? But up until then, Rusalka had a very distinctive style, melded from some instructors who came from Ukraine, like Kim Veselenko, but also infused with the enthusiasm and showmanship of the Sirotsky group, and then developed kind of organically from the leaders in Rusalka over the years. And Rusalka's choreography did start to change after that, and I think lose a little bit of its distinctiveness, which isn't to say it isn't spectacular, and it's certainly not a comment on the dancers. I mean, the average dancer today is, miles above where we were. Just like the average hockey player today is miles above where they were back then. But that elbow, when I reflect on it, it was important to me when I think back on our career as dancers at that stage. We lost a little bit of that after that, I think. That type of ending in Hopak lasted, I think, for another few more years. The Mokri choreography had it, but then, quite frankly, it's gone and you don't see that anymore. Typically, you see groups doing variations of a Virsky ending, which I think was great for Virsky.